All right, so just giving you an update of what's going on. We've had the cooler for about a week now, a week and a half. We've already done 2 trips with it. The first one was kind of a fail, and I think it has to do with my red top battery. So when my red top battery was on, it would be something like this, around 12 volts, 12.6 volts. And then when the compressor would turn on, it would actually draw power, and then the battery would actually drop down to like 10.4, 10.5. Now remember, I set this battery protection at low, so I guess like around 10.4 volts. The compressor or the computer turns off the compressor so that way it doesn't drain your battery out completely. Needless to say, my red top wasn't doing the job, and I think that's because, I'm pretty sure actually, it's because the battery's really old. That battery's like about 9 years old, and it's done its life cycle for like 3 times over. And then I thought to myself, you know what? I have 2 deep cycle batteries in the boat. It's a 16-foot boat. It's somewhat of an overkill for it, but it's just how I have it set up. I like to have things a little bit overkill. All right, so as you can see, I swapped out the red top for the marine battery. I put this in here. I did this for the main purpose, this is to test out to see if this deep cycle battery would be enough for the cooler. So the red top that's in here, I put that in the boat. It's going to be a temporary solution for now, but we'll see how things are going. With this being in here, I powered up the cooler. Now with the cooler, it actually only lasted for maybe about 5-10 minutes, and then I guess it drawed enough power to introduce the cutoff. So I'm like, okay, what am I doing now? Like, I guess that deep cycle battery isn't enough. So I'm figuring to myself, you know what, I have a booster pack, let's try that out. So I went ahead and I connected the booster pack through the 12 volt right here. So it's a 12 volt to 12 volt, and then that one 12 volt is actually going into the fridge, and it seems to be working really well. So I have the booster pack as an extra battery. It's been 24 hours, literally. What time is it? Yeah, it's been 24 hours since we got back, and it's only until now. Oh, look, it's still good. It's been going for the last 24 hours. So it's awesome. And then what's really cool with this setup is, as the truck is running and we're driving, the alternator actually charges the booster pack. Yeah, so found that out, and it was a quite nice surprise. So I think for now, what I'm going to end up doing, this is how I'm going to run it. It's the cheapest of the way right now, without spending any money. I'm just using the stuff that I have to find a solution for having this fridge, and it's doing really well right now. So I'm super happy with it. The only thing that I need to figure out now is how I'm going to have this as a permanent mount, because right here, not enough room to open up the fridge. All right, so I took all the drawers out in preparations to install this right here and that corner right there. The reason why I'm doing that is because the booster pack will be right here, and instead of running a 12 volt to 12 volt plug going into here and having wires all over the place, which I don't like, I'm going to install this. That way all I have to do is plug this into the booster pack, then this will plug into right here, which will be connected to this right here. The way I'm going to be doing, oh, and also I'm going to be adding a switch. What this switch will do is I can turn the power on and off to isolate the booster pack from the charging system. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, and also what I am going to do is this. I want to run a relay for this switch, because it's going to be a lot of current, and I don't want to have like all this current going through the switch. So I have an old power switch with the relay. I was actually off of my LED light bar from Rough Country, so I'm going to be doing that. So this here is where the switch was, and then that'll run, this will run, the long one will run to the back. Actually no, I'll do it the other way around. So I'm still figuring out as we go. So this will literally go over there to the relay with the switch. Then we'll have this going into that right there. Then this will run into the fuse block that I put in back here. Then we'll have power. Yeah, that's the... All right, so just before I button all this up and put this away, I just wanted to show you guys. So here is the button right here. the on-off switch. Here is the actual plug itself going into the relay. Like I was saying, this relay was actually off of my rough country light bar. Ran that wire all the way around down to this side over here, and going straight into the area where the fuse box is underneath. All right, so time to put this stuff away. All right, so this is the bundle that came with the actual box. That's the unit right there. The reason why I'm going for this one is I'll show you guys in a second, but on the 12 volt plug for the Dometic fridge, there's actually a 2-pin connector, so I can unscrew the piece. Like I said, I'll show you on how to do that. Anyways, that would be plugged straight into here. Also will give me a 12 volt on that side, and it's a pretty good size heavy gauge wire. So the idea is I'm going to run the wire from the battery switch right here, which is connected to the auxiliary battery, out from underneath here and going into here. I'm going to have to fish the wire up underneath the HVAC unit in the rear, and then it will come out of here and I'll have the plug sitting right up there. That is the idea. We'll see how things go. All right, so this is how this works. We have the Dometic 12 volt plug. This is the cigarette option. It's pretty heavy duty. It has its own fuse in here. And what is it? It's a 10 amp fuse that's inside. It's really beefy. I've never seen anything like this before. So, put that back in, twist it. Okay, now here's the beautiful part about this and what I really like. Oh, which by the way, this is 12 volt and 24 volt at the same time. So unscrew the bottom here and pull it out, and you have literally a 2-pin socket. Now pull this one off, and this only goes in one way. Now you'll notice that it has a notch right there. So that notch coincides to a pin that's in here, which is very similar to like that. And you just line that up. Usually it's on the bottom, and then you put it in. Now what I really like about it is that once it's in, you use this, like you screw it back in there to secure it, so that way it can't be pulled out by accident, which is really, really nice. Okay, so sorry guys if it wasn't focused, but anyway, so yeah, so you put it in, rotate it until of course, there you go. Now it's in. Just go ahead, twist the locking nut, and now it won't come out, which is really nice. And then you also have an external, like an extra 12 volt socket here, so you can run something else if you want. Alright, so to end off this video, let's put our thoughts into this, and I'll speak a little bit more about the layout and why we decided to put it on this side. It's gonna have to do with space and mainly for weight distribution. So as you know, that this side of the drawer system is our kitchenette, and this side is our recovery drawer. Now inside the recovery drawer there is a lot of heavy stuff. So we have the recovery drawer and the heavy equipment on the left side, on the driver's side of the truck, as well as the ARB compressor, and then we have the driver itself. On this side, the stove, and honestly, the compartments in here are not a lot of weight. Storing everything onto one side of the vehicle, it's gonna throw the weight or the handling characteristics of the truck. So that's the whole reason why we put it on that side of the truck. It's just for weight distribution, to add some more weight on the passenger side of the vehicle. All right, so one of the big benefits of this fridge is that there's going to be less ice. The ice situation is really unbelievable. I have no words for it. It baffles me on why they did what they did, making the bag smaller and increasing the price. Honestly, there's no need for that. But anyways, that's just my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. So my solution to that was buying this powered fridge. Again, this is not just going to serve us for inside the truck. This is also going to serve us for when we go out into the water on the boat. This, I'm telling you right now, is going to be a huge game changer for us, especially when we go out into the water. And again, like, it was a huge game changer for us during the summer months. We were actually able to bring ice cream onto the beach, which was a weird, awesome experience. So it's definitely gonna level up our lifestyle, and that's basically what we're looking for. We are a very outdoorsy family, as you can see, you know, boating, hiking, biking. Well, you haven't seen the biking thing, but yeah, we do biking. Just camping, overlanding, just getting out there, even for day trips, going to the beach. You know, like, it's gonna level up our lifestyle, bring that extra comfort and extra joy to the things that we do. That was the whole thing that we decided to buy the fridge. And again, we don't have to rely on ice, which is awesome. And I guess one of the big things too is we're going from like a huge cooler, a massive cooler. And that's the thing, like, you have to buy these massive coolers for a family, because when you're packing that much food, you need to pack that much more ice. So you need to have, rule of thumb that we did, that how we did things was we looked for a cooler that we were going to pack 3/4 of food for it, to leave a quarter of the cooler room, to leave a quarter of the room in the cooler for ice. So that way we had room for ice to keep everything cold and whatnot. So going into this, the one day cooler that we saw, that we used to have, which was the Igloo one that we got from Costco, that thing was only like 29 liters. This is 55 liters. And honestly, if you do the math, if you do the calculations, we're actually getting more room out of this cooler because of no ice compared to the other one, which was 59 liters. We probably ended up doing like maybe 40, close to maybe to 50 liters, maybe less, of actual food storage in there, and the rest was all ice. So yeah, it's a huge perk to it, guys. I hope you really enjoyed the video. I'm still learning on formats of videos and how to do my videos, and as the channel it grows, so do I, so do we, and so do the style of videos that we're gonna do. Let me know if you enjoyed it this way, and we'll see how things go. Stay safe, and who knows, maybe we'll see you out there.